Good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to the monthly member forum of Project Management Institute Sri Lanka chapter. So today the topic is on project planning. The presenter today is Mr. Tilakasiiri Ekanayaka. He is a chartered engineer with over 20 years of experience in construction, project management and planning experience, and has overseas experience in massive infrastructure development projects in Central Asia and Middle East. He has also involved in ICT project management and is the managing director of Procons Infotech Private Limited, a premier software development company in Sri Lanka. He has been working as project planning management consultant for several strategic development projects in Sri Lanka, such as Colombo Port City, Colombo Light Rail Transit Project, Central Expressway, and Multimodal Transport Hub at Makubura. So over to you, Mr. Ekanayaka, and stage is yours. So I will stop my sharing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dhammika, for your brief, nice introduction. And I'm so much happy to be a presenter in your organization and for the members of PMI and those who are interested of learning and discussing about the what are the modern trends in project planning and how we can contribute for the upliftment of this planning sector, planning related knowledge in Sri Lanka. First of all, I know that basically most of you are familiar in the project management processes, and most of you are qualified project management professionals. However, we have to emphasize, we have to get some filtering, that is screening, what is the difference between the planning and project management. Actually, planning has to be done basically by the project managers. That is a vital part of the project management subject area. Yeah, I am much familiar with the project planning applications, planning works of the construction industry in overseas and Sri Lanka. And I am familiar about the project management cycle and the planning requirement of the software industry, since I am involved in the software development business. So at the end of our discussion, that we will present some cloud-based tool what we have developed and it is being introduced for the industry. And in case you need some software project management related discussions, our project manager, IT project manager, Inoshi Jayaweera also joining with me. Again, if I go back to my most comfortable area of construction project planning, so I joined this area that as a project planning engineer at the World Trade Center renovation project after the bomb blast of 1998. So until then, I didn't know there was a profession called planning engineer. So this planning work, actually, that we all are involved with, and we all know the processes basically. But I only learned when I joined the international projects and from international teams. I learned that there is a emerging subject area called project planning, and many software tools and applications and methodologies are being used for this subject for the planning. With that understanding, so I further studied in the project management subjects, then learned again the project management requires that part of the project management, major part of the project management is planning. So the most cases, this planning is separated from the project management, or there is no well-structured, strong integration between the project planning and the project management works in many projects that I have experienced in Sri Lanka. But internationally, the situation is different, and project planning department is available in many of the projects and the construction or projectized organizations. And there are specific tasks in order to support the project manager to take informed decisions by means of this planning related information. So for that, I am going to explain you, I'm going to elaborate you my experience nationally and internationally related to the planning and how they use planning teams to get this information, baseline planning and the monitoring, and then controlling, reporting, and decision making related to the project management based on the planning information. So here in this session, I would like to discuss that this is not in a proper order and not in the structured subject names, but some areas I feel it is important to discuss about local and international best practices according to my knowledge, my experience related to the project planning. And again, that your most familiar framework, project management concept, that PMI knowledge areas, those are how implicated with this planning subject. Then what is the difference between planning and schedule? That one of the biggest misconception in the industry, that is the Gantt chart or the schedule what we prepare. People consider that is the entire planning work. That after developing a bar chart or Gantt chart using the Primavera, MS Project or Excel, it is considered the planning is done. But it is not planning, that is a part of planning. And then project monitoring and controlling, that when we have a sound, structured and a strong plan, that we have to use it to control the project. That is the purpose of requirement of the project manager, to control the project within the constraints of the time, cost, and quality. That mostly the baseline project developed with the agreement of all the stakeholders is used to control the project with the monitoring weekly or monthly project status and updating in the program. We can identify the variances. Then based on that, we can plan for the project control, that we can take actions, plan actions for the project controlling. So for that, we have to first consider about the project scope management aspects, schedule management, and even though there is not a knowledge area of PMI, the project record management, that is one of the important area I consider in the what is missing or what is less attended in the local industries. And then reporting and presentations. So if we attend and consider about these areas, most of the planning aspects of a project is covered. So to learning the planning, what is the planning and what we have to get, what type of benefits we have to get from planning, that we have to learn I recommend 4 main study areas that if you group, organize a course or training or lesson plan. So first one, number one, we have to get some awareness of what is the planning, what is the scheduling, and the mixing that requirement with the project management knowledge areas. So this is the part, first module or first subject content is what I am trying to cover today, discuss today. And then the second most important one is the developing the work breakdown structure and defining activities, then learning about the scheduling principle and the scheduling techniques. And then thereafter, we will have a baseline program. With that baseline program, we have to manage that schedule, and we have to update the program, and we have to consider, we have to verify what are the trends there with reference to the originally planned baseline. And then we can control the project. So this is the basic fundamental theory about the planning, that from the ancient time to today, even modern, that principle is not changed. We should have a baseline, we should monitor it, and we should take actions according to the results of monitoring that variations. And we have several techniques, that critical path analysis, and we have to consider the risk management, delay analysis, and trend analysis. And then for the construction planning, we have to construction or project planning, we have to yes, those areas, those are the areas we have to learn and study if we want to go with this planning subject area. Okay. Right. So if you go back to the history of planning, I think, suppose that you can imagine that the world, that one of the marvels of engineering, the Kalaweber, constructed near 1,000 years ago. So who that for that, how they plan the resources, how they plan the cost, and what is the requirement for the time planning, and how they have attended it. So since they have completed the project and they have initiated it and executed, so there should have been some kind of planning method, some kind of idea about the planning. So this is some discussion point, how ancient engineers, scientists, or people involved in projects, how they plan the work. So without paper, without communication, without a computer, they should have certain knowledge, but the controlling, that some kind of there could not be any limitation related to the time, or limitation related to the resources, and they may have used the time at large, or they could have some kind of knowledge. So that is the history. And after the Industrial Revolution in 1760, and then this modern planning era started. And cost and time planning started after Industrial Revolution in England. And the road construction sector in the world emerged, and that there was a boom after 1823, that John Macadam introduced this metal and tar, that bitumen roads. And for the monitoring or the scheduling purpose, in Henry Gantt introduced this Gantt chart. That is the most common technique we are using, that modern days, the representation of the project schedule in a bar chart. And James Kelly and Morgan Walker, that they introduced this network diagramming and critical path method in 1957. And the program evaluation and review techniques that US Navy introduced in the same period, 1950s. And with thereafter, there were so many improvements in the planning and the project management aspects with the critical path knowledge. So we'll come to that. This is the history. And in 1980s, this software era started, and with the introduction of desktop computers and software like MS Project and Primavera, the planning became a sophisticated subject, and which was very useful in the project management. Right. Yeah, in the past, construction planning was something given less importance. So they had sufficient resources. They had no limitations with the time. And after 1980s, when economically available personal computers came into the scene, the revolution started. Before that, planning was a time-consuming and difficult manual processes. I have seen the ancient area, the hand prepared, that hand-drawn bar charts pasted in the site offices and project offices, and how they work with much difficulty in the construction and other project-related offices. And those days, it was very difficult to update, and there was a time that they have constructed that massive construction works using hand-prepared drawings. So that means, give me 1 minute. Yes. So now when we come to the scenario that what is the modern day construction planning, that, as I mentioned, I am much familiar to the construction planning. And in the construction planning, if I go to the international industry, almost all the major construction companies, projects, they have planning department. They have planning software, and they use this modern planning techniques for the project planning purposes, and many online operations and online applications, and they run project management offices, and they use the project management information systems and ERPs, and the team involvement, that entire project team, key managers and the planning staff, they work jointly, and there is a planning culture within it. But when it comes to the local industry, that I am, as I mentioned, I am much familiar in the construction sector. In this sector, that many projects, they have a planning team, because it's a mandatory, if it is mandatory according to the contract, unless they don't consider about the project plan. And some major projects are undertaken without proper plan and without considering baseline program. Mostly software we use for the planning here is MS Excel and MS Project. And the team involvement and awareness and the planning culture is in a lower level. So this is what we have to improve in the modern requirement, in the scenario of we have to balance the projects with the very limited markup and very high competition. And what is coming in the futuristic construction level, now these are modern currently available, and the relations to the building information modeling and mobile applications and advanced versions of planning and scheduling software have come, and some usage of data science will come for the resource planning and the logistic planning, etc. And agile Scrum methodologies that is widely used for the software development, that will eventually come to the construction management also. And with the COVID-19 situation, that this pandemic situation, that many project planning works, the project management works, remote operations are emerged, that meetings those days conducted with the people traveling much and meeting at the site office. Now those are conducted in using Zoom meeting. That is, with that, I think many remote operations come online and cloud-based dashboards and online versions of the project planning software. Those are now emerging. It is time to come and introduce to the Sri Lankan industries in the planning field. So this is the mostly common interface of a plan, that Gantt chart. And again, I mentioned this is only a schedule, and this is mostly interpreted as the entire project plan. This is not the plan, this is only a schedule. When you have planned everything in a project, and when you represent your plan in a timetable, it will become a schedule. So the difference between planning and scheduling is already mixed up, and importance is not given to the many planning requirements, what we are going to discuss in next slides. So this is mostly very popular representation and very conventional diagram to present the project progress and the status monitoring using the S-curve. This is called the S-curve. And for the earned value management we use, this you may be familiar about monitoring of the status of a project. So this is just illustration. And now I am going to explain you some of my experiences with reference to the local and international projects, how they consider planning and what are the software they use for the planning, and the delay analysis, and what are the methods of use for the delay analysis and project monitoring and controlling purposes. So this will come from 1998 to 2020. So in this area you will understand, you will have some idea about the evolution of this planning techniques. And next slide I will explain you some of the usage of technologies and methods of project planning. So I think you have a certain idea about the planning, scheduling, and maintaining baseline programs and using the controlling measures. and presentations. And in 1998, as I mentioned, I joined this World Trade Center renovation project, and thereafter Bank of Ceylon head office renovation, that external cladding project. Both projects are undertaken by CV Australia-based development company, and they use the baseline program. That is the time first I learned about baseline program, and for that they use MS Project, and Excel sheets were mostly used to prepare schedules, those windows develop and to present the progress. And monitoring purpose, it was used printed layouts, printouts, and using highlight pens, we mark this is done, this is to be done, or like that. So, and for the delay analysis purposes, we have not used this baseline program. Then I joined this Ratnapura Bandara Road ADB funded road project conducted by executed by Korean construction company C.Eng. And there they use this Microsoft project, and they use baseline program in Excel, and tender stage they have submitted some program, and same thing they just elaborated and used printed layouts for the monitoring purposes. And for the delay analysis, they have not mainly used the baseline program. And after 2004, this is a JICA funded project, construction project. And in that project, we use Microsoft project and the Primavera contractor as the software for the monitoring, developing a baseline program and develop monitoring sub-programs. And this baseline program was accepted. Live means this program was monthly updated. And for even though we had software, that Microsoft Project and Primavera, we used the Excel programs, Gantt chart, pie charts for the presentations and monitoring purposes. And delay analysis was done using this baseline program, and with reference to, we developed as build plan and comparison that we compared the baseline program and as build program, and we use this as build program to illustrate the delays and the progress, etc. So this is about 12-13 years ago. So thereafter, in 2009-2011, I joined this French consultancy company for the planning and documentation work of the Trincomalee-Batticaloa road just after the Civil War. And the contractor was instructed to use the Primavera P6 latest version for the progress monitoring purpose, planning and progress monitoring. So this program was maintained and it was accepted baseline, and thereafter it was updated monthly with the progress. And in this program, we could find out each activity, when it was started, when it was completed, and each day, that end of the month, what is the progress respectively, with monthly updates. And this program was used for the delay analysis purpose as well in those days. And when it comes to the Central Expressway package 2, that is from Meerigama to Polgahawela, that Kurunagala section, that was constructed by local construction companies, and we used Microsoft Project to develop the baseline program, and the progress that was updated monthly. And for the monitoring purpose, we used so many types of presentations for the to show the deviations and variations from the original baseline program, and the same program was used to delay analysis and the record the delays and variations. And when it comes to the Colombo Light Rail Transit project, the software used was Primavera P6, and it was approved, and live means it was being updated every month. The program had to be updated, and therefore we could record the progress status based on the with reference to the original baseline program. And monitoring purpose, we used the overall project implementation plan, time space diagrams, and various things. So what I am why I am mentioning these things, illustrating these things, to show what are the technologies and what are the with the timeline, how these changes came to the planning purposes. So in the overseas, I have worked in the Kazakhstan in 2006, they used Primavera P5 software, that Gantt chart I just before showed, and it was approved, and it was approved by the consultant after contractor developed it, and thereafter this program has been updated. And earlier I mentioned it was live only. Now it is live and relevant, because it was allowed, it was instructed to the contractor to introduce whatever changes to the baseline program, or when it is updated, which baseline program is not changed at all, but updated program, you can see any additional work, any changes, updated program. Therefore, the baseline program and not the baseline program, updated program is closely represented what is actually happening in the site. But when we just update the baseline program, it shows the difference between variation between the original plan and the current plan. But we cannot see a program which is relevant to the what is going on at site. It might be difficult for you to understand without seeing a baseline program, but the principle of planning is we will agree with all the teams and we develop a program. That is the schedule, and this schedule will be established as a baseline program, and then every month we will update the real estate actual dates and actual progress in the program. Then the reference to the original program, we can always monitor what is going on there. But having that alone will not give you idea about what we have to do next month, because you will not as a relevant program to the site. So therefore, time to time you have to revise the program. But if you revise or if you introduce all the changes with the update monthly, every month, then your program will become live and relevant. So this subject is widely used in the international construction and project industry, and locally we don't introduce changes to the program, otherwise there is a delay claim or revised programs. And mostly S-curves, histograms were used to demonstrate the as planning tool and monitoring tool in this Kazakhstan. That is international project, and consultant was KBR USA, and main owner of the project is also joint venture of Norway and UK. So they used many various type of S-curves and histograms to illustrate always the progress of project components. And in Qatar, that is also American consultancy company, US-based company, ACOM. And for them, they use the P6 program, and Dukan Expressway project, that is also they use Primavera P6. So what I am going to tell, all these projects, they use a baseline program, and they use the Primavera as a software, and they maintain live and relevant program. Means every month they have a program what represent what is going on site, and it is modified and updated to use for the next week program, that then we know always what is going to happen next week, what we have to do in the next month. For them, they use technique to the presentation, some live dashboards, and the delay analysis. In this Dukan Expressway project, we use this technique called time impact analysis. And for this time impact analysis, the updated program and the baseline program are vital inputs. I think you got some idea about the construction projects, technologies and methods used nationally and internationally during these past 20 years. Even the modern day, what is coming to the front is having Primavera program and running updated program, and develop some methods, online monitoring techniques. That is the emerging trend, but the principles related to the planning is not changed everywhere. That is, with the knowledge and the best practices, that the planning subject is getting enriched. That is the foundation idea, and the definitions are same. In case of a project, as you know, that project is a unique temporary assignment with agreed budget and time and scope, and the program is a group of related and coordinated projects, and collectively managed group of project or programs are the portfolios. And we have different strategies for the planning of projects, programs, and portfolios. And for the planning of projects, we were talking, our subject is the project planning, not the program planning or not the portfolio plan. But for general discussion, I would like to introduce the planning of projects. Mostly project managers and planners plan during the project life cycle. And in the programs, we develop high-level plans, master plans, and track dependencies between the projects done by program managers, each program managers. And the portfolio level, that is high-level and annual planning of strategic goals. That I think you have idea about this ministry level, authority level, department level planning. And for the monitoring purposes, we use the project managers and planners monitor and control the time, cost, and scope, quality. And program managers monitor and control the overall program in the program management aspect. And portfolio level, strategic changes are monitored. Right. So this is your familiar subject area. A project is a temporary in that it has a defined beginning and end in time, and therefore defined scope and resources are there. So when it comes to the construction project management, the modern day, as I mentioned, this is my familiar area, and most of the major projects undertaken in Sri Lanka or internationally, now the reason there is a context behind the construction project management challenges. And number one is with the population growth and urban centers around the globe has driven marked demand for roads, ports, housing, and even this port city project, light rail transit project, or expressway projects came as a population growth and urbanization reasons. That therefore, there is a high competition and economic crisis is there, because some projects we have to manage with limited funds. Then the project team, even that is a national fund or internationally funded project, there is a competition to win that project, and there is a limited budget or margin, profit margin. And it is there some political reasons, economic reasons, and company related goals. The project team is pressurized always to do more with more work with less resources while driving faster project delivery times. So now the challenges are this, that the construction or any other project are coming up with challenges that project team has very little margin to play with. So therefore, they have to be very smart and apply all the project planning and management techniques to control the variations. And always we get the pressure to manage with the time and with low cost. So therefore, with this requirement, with this challenge, the planning has become the utmost that importance. That even though that I mentioned some historical information and the current situation of the country, the development projects, they are giving less importance to the planning, but emerging trends, that it is evident that planning will become most important sector or department in upcoming projects. So therefore, the developing or improving, filtering the knowledge areas related to the planning become much important, and training the people in the planning departments or making planners, planning engineers is a responsibility of senior project managers and senior planning engineers of the country. So you know that this is just to refresh your knowledge, that you know that in the project life cycle or project process groups, the planning and monitoring and controlling, that is entirely through, or that covers the entire project life cycle and project period. Then we have the initiation phase and the planning phase, execution phase, monitoring and control phase, and the closing phase. And the planning involvements and planning knowledge requirements are very high throughout the entire project life cycle. So you will see that even after developing the plan, after having the plans in place, we cannot stop monitoring and controlling it. And even to close this one, they require certain knowledge of planning. So when we come to the project management knowledge areas, your most familiar slide or most familiar knowledge, the most of the day that what is the modern project planning is the isolated subject is combining or integrating with more knowledge areas. This is the beauty, or this is the reality what is happening today. So this subject is dominating. Planning is dominating to more knowledge areas in the project management framework. Earlier, there was a knowledge area. When we went to PMBOK 5 or earlier versions, there was no knowledge area called project schedule management. That was project time management only. And there was no knowledge area called project stakeholder management. And now the schedule management or project scope management, those have combined and they have integrated together. And when we develop a schedule, first of all, we have to define and verify the project scope, and we have to develop a project scope statement. That project statement is very unfamiliar word for the modern day projects that undertaken in Sri Lanka, but that has to come. That even the jargon or terminology may be different, but we should organize at the beginning of a project. We should have a very strong and structured project scope baseline. The project scope baseline is the combination of project scope statement and work breakdown structure and the work breakdown structure dictionary. So this development of the project baseline has to be done with the combination of all parties, with the support or with the collaboration of all the parties and with the agreement of all the parties. So without having a strong scope baseline, we cannot schedule it. We cannot place our plans in a timeline. So this is the much known and much understood reality in the modern world and the modern day. This is the principle of modern planning. We should define and we should agree all parties, and therefore we can consider about the expectation of the project stakeholders at the stage of project scope management, and we have to consider the risk associated with the project scope, and those are to be considered in the project schedule development, project planning. That is, then it has to be communicated with the parties and project communication involved. And we have to plan the project procurement stages in the schedule. And for the schedule, it essentially required to cover the resources. Resources has to be assigned to our schedule, and then resources entail the cost. Then the cost we have to maintain. And when it comes to the quality management, quality aspects are accommodated in the scope. So those all knowledges, that all involvements are to be represented in a project schedule. So then this strong schedule, and when we have a baseline, that to be smart, to be manage a project with comfortable assurance that it will not ended up time lost or cost overrun. We should have a strong foundation, a strong plan. For that, we have to consider aspects of all the knowledge areas of the project management framework. So this is what modern day planning has diverged, and this importance has understood by project managers and project management professionals or teams. Therefore, planning experts or planning departments are given more importance nowadays, day by day. That is becoming a compulsory sector. Therefore, we can see in many tenders, many new job that advertisements about the projects, project notices. In the project team, we should have a planning engineer in place, and some projects, they are struggling to find planning engineers to recruit in their project team. So this is the reason that it become integrated with all other knowledge areas, and the importance of that, having a strong plan has become vital factor for the success of the modern day projects. So they are, before going into the high technology or wireless paperless world, the what is developed and understood with the best practices modern day is this integration and in the knowledge involvement, more involvement and integration to the schedule, and it should be the schedule has become the backbone of a successful project. So for that, we should have planning effort, planning support. So that is this is the area that is coming up. And this chart, I think you are very familiar, the project management processes and the knowledge areas, process groups. You will see the planning process group. There are so many processes with reference to the all knowledge areas. This is for, I am not going to explain one by one, since most of you are PMP qualified professionals as well. Most of you are aware about the project management principles and project management framework. With that, I want to refresh your knowledge and to focus the fact that the planning process group involves so many processes that is interconnected or integrated with all the knowledge areas, right? Okay. Okay, so this is just for the discussion point, you know that what is the integration, the coordination and collaboration among all processes under the knowledge areas. Integration is primarily concerned with effectively integrating the processes among the project management process groups. This well-known definition I placed here just to concentrate, focus your idea. The same thing that in the planning aspects, now this integration should be represented, illustrated by means of a schedule or set of plans in a project. So this is within the project management framework, we are trying to reinforce, strengthen our plans, our set of plans and our schedule. And as I discussed already, that project scope management is the process required to ensure that the project includes all the work, and your project schedule or Gantt chart or bar chart that should cover or entire project scope. That is the requirement. And you in the project scope management exercise, And when you develop project scope management plan and the project management plan, you will identify all the project scope, and you have utmost responsibility to represent that scope entirely in the project schedule. And when scope planning, that we first, just to refresh your mind, that we have to plan how we do the scope management, and then we collect the requirement. For the collection of requirement, we have tender documents, drawings, or SRS, or initial project charter, project feasibility study, or any instructions or any discussions, brainstorming sessions, meetings. And with that, we develop, thereafter we define the scope, and we develop the project breakdown structure, that work breakdown structure. That is the list of deliverables and logically organized work packages. You know about this. So after you develop this work breakdown structure, the most of your planning, it is said, when the planning point of view, it is said that 50% of your planning is done, project planning is done. So thereafter we have, this is just for those who are not much familiar about the representing the work breakdown levels in the Gantt chart, that you will have different levels of Gantt chart, and the topmost level, there is the project name, and there will be sub levels in the WBS, level 2, level 3, level 4. Normally, any program, the most common and complicated projects, they go levels up to level 6 only. That is general, but we can go further down. And so this is how you organize your work scope, and you manage your scope and represent it in a schedule. And the subject, the schedule management, and the knowledge, this knowledge area, all the processes in the project schedule management will end up with the baseline program. That is the tool for the planners, and that is the backbone of your project, as I mentioned, when taken together with project management plan, risk management plan, resource management plan, etc., project management plans, your schedule will be the backbone of your project. And for the developing of this schedule planning, for that we should have a plan about how we schedule, how you manage the project schedule, who is doing that, when we are getting the approved baseline program or accepted baseline program, and thereafter how often it is updated, and who is doing, who will review this, and this kind of information we can have in the schedule management plan. And when we have a proper plan, how we have to do the schedule management, we can define the activities under the respective WBS we have developed in the process of in the previous exercise of project scope management. So thereafter we have we can sequence the activities, order, logically relate, introduce relationships to activities, and thereafter we can define, or we can work out for the durations of each activities, and this combined outcome, that combined effort of defined activities and sequence those activities and assigning durations will end up with the schedule. That is our Gantt chart. That is our program of the project. It agreed by the parties. So thereafter, we can introduce the resources, cost into the program. So this is the principle of scheduling. Okay, so for the after estimating activity durations, we can assign that to the program, and thereafter we have the developed schedule. We have the schedule, and with that schedule, we have to use it for the controlling of the project. That is called that is the same as controlling the schedule. How we control this schedule, how we manage this schedule. So I will show with some software example. So this is the theoretical part. This is principle not challenged or not changed with the previous days or modern days. The modern project planning is, once again I am highlighting here, is not introduce the high technologies or not introducing mobile applications or software packages, but giving highlighted importance, giving the utmost importance, and considering it as the vital part of the project management is the modern project planning, and integrating and penetrating into more knowledge areas is the modern plan, nothing else. So even my first example, the Kalaweber, they had planning without even they had unlimited resources, so not control time, but they had planning. But even we go back to the Kalaweber era or Empire State Building time, without computer, without a mobile plan, we can work a modern plan with more emphasis to the planning principles and integration with other knowledge areas. Okay, so the same thing I mentioned here, the planning is defining a project, determine the scope, set overall durations, budgeting the contingencies, identify risk and overall goals identification. Those are the planning. So according to the PMI, the project management knowledge, PMBOK, we have to develop document called project management plan, project plan. That project plan is not the project schedule. This set of project plans, project management plan, PMP, and it is the combinations of all the plans, that is quality management, HR management, resource management, cost management, etc. So this is a set of document. This is not a Gantt chart or a program. This is a set of document showing the procedures and the responsibilities and the formats, templates, how we are doing this project, how we are managing this project. It is a set of documents that after that planning we will have, when we have outline methods and outline idea about the project scope, project time, the project components, then we introduce that project activities in a time frame, that is the project schedule. So what we show in the form of a Gantt chart is only a project schedule, that is not the project plan. Right. Okay, so when we have a project plan or schedule, we have to do the controlling of it. The planning means planning, monitoring, controlling. So for the planning, we should have a strong set of plans as a strong schedule, develop integrating all the related knowledge areas. In the plan, we have to consider the scope, and we have to consider the risk. We have to consider the communication requirements. We have to consider the stakeholders. We have to take their requirements, consider their requirement. With all these, when we have a plan, if it is accepted by all the parties, then we have to use it for the controlling of the project. So for that first step, we will do the monthly or weekly update, periodical updating of the project, and the monitor the progress against the baseline for both cost and schedule performance. And we have to measure and manage the effects of the progress. Variance analysis, it is called variance analysis. And we have to analyze and control delays and changes using this comparing the baseline program and the updated program. So then if required, we have to reschedule the resources, and we have to reschedule the task to control the project and ensure the project will end up with the planned day, end up with the planned budget, covering the planned scope. So this is the project control. This is a very generic introduction for you to organize your already that you have the available knowledge. So to do this kind of a plan, for the plan, prepare a plan, we need first of all clearly defined scope, project, the ill-defined scope, or when it is not clear about the what we have to do in the project, or when it is not agreed by all the parties. This is the scope. Then the project will end up with complex ambiguities and losses to the all parties, losses to the reputation. So the number one requirement for project management as well as for planning, we need a clearly defined scope, and we need appropriate staff resources who has a knowledge for planning and who has a wide knowledge of the planning and project management aspects. So when this is the high level, initially we should have estimate of time and cost before defining the sub duration and schedules. We should have high level estimate of time and cost with the tender or with the feasibility study or with the requirement of the client, which we will get this high level time and cost. With that, we have to plan, we have to break down that high level estimates into the components, and whatever the outcome of our planning, it should match with the high level time and cost expectations. And we have to identify major risk. We have to maintain the risk management or carry out the risk management parallel to developing the schedules and planning. We have to maintain the risk register, and some outputs of the risk we have to incorporate into our plans. And for that, we need the WBS, that is logically broken down work packages, and formal change procedure, how we change and how we introduce the additional work or variation orders. Some kind of agreement we should have at the beginning to have a strong plan. Okay, so for the progress monitoring and presentation, I think I am audible and you are following me. Because of this time limitation, I am covering this, I'm trying to cover this with the available 1.5 time, and we need the discussion and other demonstrations, right? So I am not going to very much examples, but I need to cover these theoretical parts and the essential areas related to the progress monitoring, planning, and presentations. For the monitoring, and now at this stage, we have a baseline plan. We consider we have a baseline plan, and we have agreed that it has to be managed for the controlling of the project. And we have to monitor the progress with reference to the baseline program, and periodically we have to update the program and make presentations. So sometimes we take magnified views of the program. We have the schedule, that is we call look ahead programs, and we have to analyze that the variance, the difference between the original plan and the current situation. And we have, there is a technique called earned value analysis. It is widely used to control the cost, and there are indicators, KPIs related to the cost performance. We use that, and this knowledge area calls earned value analysis. And according to the plan, we have to ensure I'm reading one of your comment. Okay, so I have some that your chat messages that we will discuss just after covering this one. Okay, this is for the presentation that we use several techniques or several presentation diagrams, histograms, KPI dashboards, and gang movements diagrams, earned value analysis, etc. For the presentation of variations where we are, and then the decision makers or higher management, they can take decisions. This is where we organize our planning data into information, and we present them in the histograms or dashboards or diagrams. Okay, so even this is a knowledge area, the one of the missing or one of the weak area in our projects, many projects, we are struggling at a certain stage because projects, we don't have proper documents or records at the time to dig out the history, or for going for insurance claim, going for delay claim, or even to work out the lessons learned for our analogous data analysis, and review that what we have to do next, and forecast the future trends of this project, patterns. For that we need the historical information, data, and the records of the project. And even though if you update the program in a plan, you should keep validation documents, records. Or if it is that, if suppose you that update your program, that's the typical start or execution of construction or some development component of software program. If you update your program as it is completed by this date, you should have some kind of information or record or letter in your registry that you are maintaining, that you have a proof that the certain update can be validated if somebody asked. So it is required in most of the cases. And for the therefore this program updates and maintenance, it is related to the document control, record keeping, and Even the documents, we should have certain responsibilities, and we should know why we are maintaining the purpose of document management. So therefore, in the planning, for the planning engineers or planners, other than the Gantt chart, they should maintain a set of documents or validations, or they should integrate, collaboratively work with the document controlling systems. And even in Primavera software, we have facilities to upload, assign certain documents, drawings or letters, etc. in the with reference to certain activities. Okay, so after developing a program, normally that what we do, that normally that when we develop a program, it cannot be considered as a realistic program unless we review the constructability of a program. This constructability is a modern term that is used, that ancient word, but it is used for the as a checklist of validating a modern program in the modern industry, construction and other industries, to check this program can be executed, that can be used for this program, and whether it is realistic for the practical applications. So after developing a program, normally that what I seen in foreign countries, we conduct several workshops. In these workshops, that this is a new knowledge what we have to organize here, that we normally, that in the software industry or in other projects, we conduct some meetings, some review discussions, but it is not done consistently or in a systematic manner. So this constructability review we have to introduce before implementing or accepting a program or initial plan. So in that review, that certain areas we consider, that certain experts, relevant experts, are connected or enrolled for discussions or workshop type brainstorming sessions to verify whether this developed schedule is implementable or constructable. So for that, was a few aspects of that is site logistic and constraints, environmental impacts of the proposed construction method, clarity of documents, technical constructability, compatibility of contract plans, specification and applications, standards, subsurface data, scheduling requirement, construction pacing. So are these acceptable? And this pacing is matching with the interfacing contractors or other the parties involved in this project. So those has to be reviewed in this constructability scope review stage. And then we have to modify and do the improvements in the program accordingly. Then it will become a stronger program. Okay, so this is the points what I have to introduce, because you are in different industries, various industries. I didn't come up with much examples of the related to the construction industry. That is, but anyway, this point we can discuss about the about queries related to the planning and your understanding about the planning and the project management. And we can even recommend certain outcomes of today's discussion to the industry. And we can recommend certain areas for further learning. And any comments, any suggestions? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Ekanayaka, we have 2 questions in the chat.
Yes. Shall I read it?
Yeah. I will read the question. You can get the answer. Question is, planning is the most important aspect of making a project be delivered on time and in budget. However, in the local environment where clients think they know everything and contractors always lie about how much resources they plan to commit, most projects always fail and the planning project managers get blamed. How do you think the clients and contractors can be educated to see and tell the truth for their own benefit?
Yes, this is a very valid question, and I am also struggling because of this situation. Actually, that if you have check for the statistics, project completion or that project, that 90% of the projects, development projects undertaken in Sri Lanka are delayed. And most of the projects, the cost become double, or it is mostly there is a cost overrun. So for that earlier there was no much concern about the planning, and it was not taken very seriously. But nowadays, with this economic crisis, the higher authorities have started thinking about how we can control that. Then I learned, because I am working with few national projects, I learned now they are working to get international knowledge and to introduce the procedures for the planning and controlling. So therefore that many projects nowadays that when they are planning and when we are tendering, that they concern about the introducing planning engineers and the planners. So earlier that even now that there are projects executed and even nearing completion without accepted baseline program and without any updates. But this trend, we are educating by means of the seminars, workshops, and other things. And also that we have learned there is a trend. The authorities, management, ministries, they have identified the requirement of planning, improving the planning sector because of the cost, project delay and the cost overrun. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So next question we have received from Dr. Gamini Padma Peruma. Please elaborate on the importance of cost and schedule integration.
Yeah, actually, this is the project schedule, that it is essentially should be cost loaded. That means we call it even Primavera or MS project. Those are the most common tools currently used. In both cases, we integrate that, we assign resource costs for each activity, and we assign resources also. The cost baseline and the cost planning are done parallelly. That earlier, that several years ago, that normally that plan we use only for the time controlling, and we use different measures, S-curves and cost baselines for the cost controlling. Now both are integrated, and actually that I cannot recommend one out of the two software, but I am much familiar with Primavera. They have a very sophisticated facilities for controlling the cost and cost integrating the cost planning and the activity planning. So this is now it is highly important, and because contractor is much concerned about the both cost and time, that with the time that is why this earned value management systems are coming, that even now we have the developed ICT system for the earned value management, the cost controlling aspects. So that two departments now combined. Earlier, QS and commercial department, they control the cost. And when the planners, they just develop the time plans. Now it is combined efforts are coming in the software. They have the facility for that.
Okay. Shall we move on to the part of the demonstration, Mr. Ekanayaka?
Okay, sure.
Then after that, we can take the other questions.
Yes, okay. So Inoshi, over to you, Inoshi. Hello. Shall I stop the sharing?
Thank you, Mr. Ekanayaka. So we will be quickly demonstrating you sort of a project planning and monitoring tool. Even in the industrial level, you know that for specific industries, currently also there are so many tools are available. If I mention some of the name, as Mr. Ekanayaka also mentioned, Primavera is mostly using for this construction project management. But when it's come to software project management, likewise, we do have some sort of tools like Jira, Teamwork, and there are so many agile basis project management tools as well. So here, as since we are like a software development company, so we have our own tool developed. We have identified there are few gaps like in the industrial level tools available. Mostly the thing is when it's come to Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan organizations couldn't afford these kind of international level products because the cost wise and everything, it is very hard to afford for us like Sri Lankan companies. So in that case, we are going to introduce one new tool to the industry where this project planning and monitoring can be easily done. So I will quickly demonstrate you on this tool. You can see my screen. So this tool we have we named this tool as ProjectTweek or ProjectTweek. You can pronounce it as ProjectTweek. So if I log into this one, so you can see I will later come into this dashboard part of the product. So when it's come to this tool, the main purpose what we develop is mainly for the project planning and project monitoring aspects. So under this tool, we are having like three hierarchical levels we have maintained. One thing is the portfolio level, where the program or the portfolio level, which means the collection of projects. And the second one is about the project level, and under one project we can have milestones. So we know that when we are like doing monitoring and we are doing the project management, always we are aligned with these project milestones. So this tool will support you to tool will support you to tool will support you in managing a portfolio, which means collection of projects. For an example, I will quickly go through with one example. So we say that there is a one company like ABC Private Limited, where we need to introduce some sort of business process re-engineering. So under this business process re-engineering, we could have so many projects. So this tool will support itself. So you can create this portfolio. And if you go inside this portfolio, you can have multiple projects inside that. So for an example, one project could be ERP implementation. So under this business process reengineering for this ABC Private Limited, we are going to implement an ERP. And there could be one another project, like some more example we can take. So there could be unlimited number of projects can be maintained under this portfolio level. So one important part is you can see the status. So we have maintained several status for project level, if we created the project, once it is created, we can keep it as new project, and it can be approved project, and that is a verification or approval level we can have within the product. And if the project is started, so we can place it as in progress project. So this project, you can see it is status with the in progress. And also we have maintained it in different color codes where users can easily recognize what status of the project is, and project itself having a type. So ERP implementation could be with a web application sort of thing. So if we go inside this project, we can have set of milestones. So you know that under any project, there could be so many milestones within the project. So there are 3 milestones here. You can see, like first we have to do some business analysis thing, and we should do feasibility analysis, and some product specification should be developed. And when it's come to execution, there should be some sort of milestones we have to go on, quality assurance process. Likewise, there should be some milestones where you can add up to unlimited milestones within this tool. So here also you can see the statuses. So for the milestones level also there are status. And the next important thing is, for each and every milestone, there is a assignee where who is the responsible person to do this one or to monitor this one. And also the due date is very important, because we have to track like when this milestone should be completed. So if it is like passing the due date, you can see this one in red color. Likewise, alerts are given within the tool. And importantly, the main thing is, as we discussed, like Mr. Ekanayaka explained you, when it's come to project planning or project management, we all know there are like 3 constraints, like triple constraints. So the main thing is the scope, which is the physical progress or the physical target within that project, and the schedule, and the financial or the cost. So all 3 components can be easily managed through this product. So if I go to schedule first, so here you can see when we are creating a milestone, or when we are creating the project, we can add what is our plan starting date and plan end date for each and every milestone. And when we are updating the progress, we can give what is the actual starting date and what was the actual ending date for that particular item. So based on that, product itself give you like how is the commencement variation and the completion variation based on the calculation of this schedule variance. So one important part here is, within this tool, you can you know that always we are like once we do the planning, we call it as a baseline. So time to time we have to revise this baseline, because when it's like come to the practical approach, there could be so many issues and there could be some challenges. Due to those challenges, this baseline has to be changed. In that case, this product is supporting you to like revise this baseline. So if I quickly revise this one, so you can see this was the like the initial starting date and the initial end date for this one. So once I am saving this one to another date, so we say that we are going to revise the start date. So system automatically save it as another version. So I'm going to submit this one. So here now you can see the baseline is there, So that is the baseline, the original plan or the original schedule, and we have done a revision. So likewise, there are like unlimited number of revisions you can manage within this tool, and also you can see the Gantt chart according to the given data. So this Gantt chart will be developing based on the planned and the actual values. So once we given the actual values here, the Gantt chart will be automatically drawing. So this is how you can do the schedule management or the schedule planning within this tool. And when it's come to the scope or the physical progress, so we know that for each and every project, we do have these physical targets. So according to the project starting date and the project ending date, based on the quarter, you can maintain the physical targets within this system. So this is the baseline added to each and every quarter. So all the it should be sum up 100%. So we can divide that 100% according to our planning, and based on our milestones we have, so you can update the monthly progresses here. So you can go to add physical progress, and you have to select what is the quarter, and so this one, the given milestone is up to September, that's why it appearing it as September. So you have to select the month, and you have to set out the actual progress according to the month. And if you need some document evidence to be uploaded, you can do it, and you can submit this one. So likewise, you can maintain this physical progress from this system as well. So if you created some sort of physical progress, it will be visible like this. So based on the quarter and the month, so we will be calculating the overall progress. And here you can see the variation. So we have the planned target here, and once we updated the actual progress, system itself will be calculating whether it's a plus or minus variation we do have. So we can see, like upfront, we can see whether the project is moving smoothly, or are there any risk for the project failure. So in case upfront we can identify these things, then we can do some action items or some more planning in order to get the project into the track. So similarly, this is one major important thing. Mostly in the industrial level, we are very familiar with Jira kind of tools when it's come to software project management. But here the most the gap between those tools is to manage this costing. So when it's come to our Sri Lankan context, we always need to have this project costing management, whether to see whether the project is profitable or whether it is a loss. So in order to manage the financial targets along with the financial progress itself supports within the system. So it is not only for the LKR actually, we have USD, and there are some multiple currencies we can maintain within this system. And the variation can be automatically seen once we given these financial plan targets, and once we update with the actual progress. So similar to the this physical progress, you can see how is the financial progress, and overall progress also will be calculating based on our physical and the financial progress. The overall progress will be given by the system, and here you can see these are the color codes we are maintaining within the product, and we can have a summary view how many milestones we do have within the project, and what are the in progressing one and what are the completed one. Likewise, we can see. So if I go to the dashboard, this dashboard will contain set of charts where we will be needing in order to see the summary view of the project. So this is the portfolio progress, where you can see where is your portfolio, like the physical progress, financial progress, and in order to the overall progress. So it can be based on the year that your portfolio belongs to. And the download option is given here to download these charts. In case if you need to present it to some audience in a PowerPoint presentation or somewhere, so you can simply download this as an image and keep it in your slides. So similar way, there are some financial level charts are generating, like total allocation versus actual. And there are some set of other charts you can generate here. Allocation distribution, like from the category and the subsector. Likewise, there are some charts you can generate here. And the other chart is about these portfolio statuses. You can see how many projects are inside one portfolio, how many are under new status, how many are under approved. Likewise, you can get those statistics. Apart from those things, one important thing I want to mention, most of the current practices, we know that most are familiar with these Excel sheets and keeping all the records in Excel format. So system itself support, like we do have these Excel templates inside this tool. So what you can do is you can download this template and fill it out according to the template. And if you want to process bulk data to the product, so you can simply upload it as a Excel file. So it is supporting. So all the data which you are currently managing with Excel sheet can be simply uploaded to this system as well. And apart from that, there are two reports currently we are supporting under this tool. So one is thing is about this monthly project status, where you can generate a report for whatever the portfolio based on your year and the month. We say it is August. So you can see what are the projects inside that portfolio and how is the information according to the current existing data. And you can download this report as Excel format as well as PDF formats. And another one report product is supporting, that is a project allocation report, where you can see the financial records mostly, how is the allocation and how is the spent for this one. So you can see there are some of the actual expenditure, remaining budget, those information can be generated as a report. Apart from that, as most of the other tools, this product is also having a comprehensive user management system, where you can add users to this one and give the access to your staff members or whoever the people that you want to have the access here, and administrator can manage this permission and everything. And also this product is very comprehensive with the configurations, where according to your domain, we say that if it is a software related projects, if it is something else like some other business domain, so you can manage this configuration, and it can be easily configured to the this product. That is the quick demonstration of this tool. So this tool is a totally cloud-based solution, where we are now going to introduce this one to the industry. So this tool has no no upfront fee, where it will go like subscription basis, where monthly subscription will be there to purchase this one, and totally cloud basis, where all your data will be secured in the cloud, well secured hosting environment. Yeah, that's about the tool. Mr. Ekanayaka, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Inoshi. And one query regarding this software is the name of the software, that is ProjectTweek, that is introduced by Procons Infotech Private Limited. So one of the importance of this software, I think, is the the project that can be accessible, that not within the project computer or planners, but at the head office or any other level, all the project stakeholders, we can create access levels, and therefore it is something become familiar to all stakeholders in certain levels. So the one of the major problem nowadays is these complicated software systems, the Primavera or MS project plans, those are not familiar or user-friendly for all the stakeholders. For even decision makers, there should be high-level summary information in the project summary level. For that facility will be there. Yes. Any?
Dear members, if you have any other questions, you can unmute and ask or put on the chat.
Yeah, quick question to this. Quick question to Inoshi with regard to the project management tool what we showed. Are you able to manage activities based on, can you put like predecessors or the dependencies within the activities in this tool?
Yeah,
Can
currently
you please show that?
Yeah, currently the product is having a milestones level where we are not having the dependencies or the predecessors management currently, but the tool is like continuously improving, and we are going to have some more improvements to the tool. So that is a good input. Actually, we can think of that one as well. Currently, it's not.
Yeah, because I couldn't see that when you demonstrate that, because that is, I think, a very important feature we should have in terms of these kind of tools, because we have parallel activities, we have dependent activities. So sometimes we start, say, several activities at the same time, or one activity might depend on the previous activity. So I think that is very important feature that should have in this kind of a tool.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for the comment.
Yeah.
Another question, Inoshi, that is from Harini. Can we import any MS project-based files to this software?
Currently, the tool is supporting for MS Excel actually. So I think with the MS project, you can download the data for the MS Excel format as well. In that case, you can upload to the tool, but the template should be same, because within the tool, we have given a template to fill out. So if the template is matching, then you can upload. Currently, you cannot directly export from MS project file to the tool, but MS Excel is supporting.
Okay, another question in the chat. Is this supportive for multiple project methodologies, waterfall and agile?
Yes. That could be support, because based on the the projects that you are adding or the milestones and the based on the starting date and ending date, you can have it in the agile basis or else as waterfall basis.
So Inoshi and Ekanayaka, maybe in the chat, if you can put your emails or whatever the contact details, so they can, if anyone interested in the tool, they can contact you. On the chat box, if you can put your details. Yeah, if anyone having any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, since there are no further questions, we will conclude this session. On behalf of PMI Colombo Sri Lanka chapter, we are thankful to Mr. Tilakasiiri Ekanayaka and Ms. Inoshi Jayaweera. And with the next slide, you can see the PDU code for this. Those who are credential holders. Also, I will put the PDU code on chat, so you can copy paste that. Hope you have received it. So we will be having a recording of this, and the recording will be uploaded into the LinkedIn as well as the Facebook of Project Management Institute Colombo, Sri Lanka chapter. So thanks everyone for joining, and we will meet you on our next member forum in the September. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.